What's up, bro? I'm Kimberly.
I'm Emma.
I'm Kate.
And we're the Film Bros.
We may not be bros, but we're just as annoying.
We're here to talk about all things film, the industry, and us.
If you like what you hear or see, follow the podcast, like, comment, and subscribe.
You can find us on Instagram at thefilmbros.podcast and on YouTube at thefilmbros.podcast.
You can listen to us on your preferred podcast streaming platform. Just search The Film Bros and look for the pink logo.
Lights.
Camera.
Action.
Before we get started, I want to give a quick trigger warning for this episode. We're going to discuss a lot of heavy topics such as self-harm, suicide, school shootings, acts of violence, animal abuse, and pedophilia. So if you're not, comfortable with any of that, just skip this episode and join us next time. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back. Today is the day that I know you've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
Everyone is really
Get
excited.
And we expect you to be prepared.
Yeah.
You've had so much
You've
time.
had
so much time.
We talked about this in the second episode, I think. So you've had
It's been like 4 months.
had months.
It's only 5 movies.
It's only 5 films.
That's not even a lot.
And it doesn't even feel like a lot either. Like, you get so sucked into it.
Yeah.
So, no excuse. Well, today's the day we talk about our girl, Lynne Ramsay, the GOAT, the legend.
Go.
And yeah, I think we're going to dive into her a little, and then each of her films, talk about our thoughts, themes, through lines, and just see where it takes us. I've got some fun facts.
Fun.
And
Love a fun fact.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I can start off with a bio.
I'm ready.
Because I was looking at a lot of her bios on like IMDb and stuff, and they were all kind of boring. So it was just like, she's a Scottish filmmaker, which we know. But this is from the British Film Institute, so this is a little bit more fun. So she is a Scottish filmmaker, first of all, writer-director. She also acts, I believe, a little. She's an actor in like one film feature that was at Cannes.
Cool. Of course.
Very cool.
She can do it all. So Lynne Ramsay. Lynne Ramsay's work bears a powerful personal imprint. Her films are marked by a fascination with children and young people and the recurring, unresolvable themes of grief, guilt, and above all, death and its aftermath.
Yeah.
They are low on dialogue and explicit story exposition. Instead, they look to bold, unusual images, vivid details, an astute use of music, and highly wrought sound design to create their unsettling worlds.
Pretty accurate.
I think
For
that
sure.
sums her up pretty well. I guess I can give like a little bit more backstory about her. She originally went to school for photography before film school. And I think she talked about Nan Goldin as being like a big influence on her. And she's a very like personal, very, there's a term for it. It's like intimate photography. It's like very much just telling personal stories through photographs. If I'm right.
Sorry, I'm just looking up some Nan Goldin photos.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really
It's
interesting.
really powerful
Very
stuff.
similar to Lynne Ramsay.
Yes, yeah. If you look up
of
Nan
women.
Goldin's photographs,
Yeah.
they're very, very much like her framing too.
Devastating scenes.
Devastating.
Oh, that's really interesting.
But I think that's really cool. And then she grew up with films, but she cites Meshes of the Afternoon by Maya
Classic.
Deren, another legend.
I not to
Yeah,
take a pause here.
jump in.
So if you don't know Maya Deren, she
Oh my God.
like I think if you go to film school, she's probably like I think depending on the film school, but I'd say in probably all, like you learn about maybe 3 female directors.
Yeah.
And Maya Deren is like the GOAT. Like she really not invented, but she really was one of the first filmmakers, period, to really do abstract filmmaking and like Meshes of the Afternoon in particular. I bet it's free on YouTube. Like,
100% it is.
yeah, like
100%
it's not very
it is.
long. I recommend watching it. It's not a full feature. I think it's a short film. It's like
20
20
something
minutes.
in that range.
And so basically if you watch that movie, you'll understand like that's about half of film school is like,
For
oh,
real.
in Meshes of the Afternoon, she did this.
And if you want to talk about like surrealist filmmaking, Maya
Yeah.
Deren is like the legend.
She's the GOAT.
She's literally the
She's
GOAT.
the GOAT.
Like Oh my God. So much too of like David Lynch's work, so much of like the imagery he
a lot of
uses
people
is
cite
from
her.
Maya Deren.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that like she would inspire another amazing.
Doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
Oh my gosh, no. Yeah, and also like very similar in their like kind of unconventional framing and just experimenting with the language of cinema. So I think that's cool. That Meshes of the Afternoon inspired her to go to film school. I think she kind of talks about it like almost being on a whim. Like she saw this film and was like, I'm gonna go.
That's so cool.
And I believe she studied cinematography. And so her first few shorts she wrote, directed, and also shot.
That's so crazy.
And yeah. Kimmy knows. But they also, her shorts got into Cannes. So she's like on another level.
I don't know what that's like.
Like in school,
I don't know what that's like.
Out of school. Yeah. Yeah.
I think you can definitely tell that I saw like one interview where she did cinematography and she's amazing at it, obviously, but it wasn't like calling to her quite like directing was. But you can definitely tell the influence she has over the camera and how she frames and how she moves the camera, like completely carried through just having that knowledge.
Well, I think also because, not to jump ahead, but so many of her films don't have a lot of talking, so it's like so reliant on the visual language, and it totally makes sense that her background is in cinematography because like her films are way more about the visual language, like showing, not telling, than like any words.
Absolutely.
Words are there like very, very infrequently.
Yeah.
And
Words are there to
like
like destroy you.
Yeah.
they're either
there.
like random seeming,
Yeah.
or they're just like,
Yeah.
you're like, okay.
Yeah, but
life
they're
changed.
never like the necessary thing. Like
No,
they're always like
they're never like exposition.
No
Yeah,
exposition
yeah.
in her
Like that.
films.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
which I love. I love. Let's see. So her shorts got her a lot of acclaim, and she was kind of in with like the Cannes world because her films were there.
Love it. We're in the Cannes world.
And then the BBC approached her to write a treatment for a feature after like her shorts had done well, and that's how we get Ratcatcher. Which was her first feature.
Yeah.
And what I think is also sweet is that she made Ratcatcher with a lot of first-time filmmakers. So a lot of, like, her friends from film school who hadn't made a feature before worked on Ratcatcher with her. So should we jump into Ratcatcher?
Yeah.
First of all, spoilers on all her movies.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because you should have watched them.
Because you should have watched them.
You explain to me what Ratcatcher is like based on, like the historical event.
Oh.
Because I kind of got it.
Yeah.
And then you were like, and then I was like,
Okay, well, this
is
is the touchstone. Has everyone seen Billy Elliot?
no.
Okay, what?
I know, I haven't
Oh
seen it. I know,
my God.
I
Okay.
know.
So good.
This is like...
But I know, I kind of know what it's about.
alternate universe Billy Elliot.
Okay.
It's like in the 1970s in Glasgow and throughout the UK, there was a strike of like trash workers. They call it like the bin strike, the refuse. Is that trash? Refuse strike.
Refuse.
Rubbish strikes. And so in the streets there was just like a buildup of trash and also rats. Ratcatcher.
Pretty gross.
And so there was a lot of drama with the people who, what do they call them? Like scabs who would break the picket lines to go and actually pick up the trash. And they weren't well liked in those communities because they were breaking the strike. So yeah, that's the historical context.
Very interesting.
Also watch Billy Elliot.
I know. I know. I gotta get on it.
Yeah. Okay. I can do a... Ratcatcher is a hard film to sum up in so many sentences.
That's something I wrote about all of her films.
Yeah.
Is it's like I couldn't give you a breakdown because
No.
it's just like moods.
Yeah.
Like something is happening and
Yeah.
you know that there's a plot, you know you're going somewhere,
Yeah.
but it's just like they're just getting worse
I
and
feel
worse.
like the plot is introduced within the first 10
Oh yeah,
minutes.
that's what I wrote.
And then you're like, oh, this is the movie.
Yeah.
And then it takes a turn, and you're like, oh, this is what the movie's
Right.
about.
Yeah.
This is what
Right.
the
That
movie's
was my
so sorry.
number one note. Like as like a whole in her films is like there's the film you think it is. It happens in like the first 10-15 minutes and then you're like, where does it go from
Yes.
there?
No
And then
idea.
that's what the film actually
Right.
is.
Yeah.
Which I
it's-
love.
And I feel like you never get there. Like
Yeah.
I wrote that her films this is gonna sound so like but I wrote that her films are like an unfinished sentence.
Yeah.
But it does say something, but you're just like, but I feel horrible when it's over, and it's like that's life, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like life isn't a finished sentence.
Yeah,
It's like ever going. Continue.
So cool.
So this is, I think I got all my descriptions from Letterboxd because
Valid
I trust
source?
them with my life.
Here we go.
And let me see if I can get through this and read my handwriting. But Ratcatcher came out in 1999. It's an original film written and directed by Lynne Ramsay. Follows, James Gillespie is 12 years old. The world he knew is changing. Haunted by a secret, he has become a stranger in his own family. He is drawn to the canal where he creates a world of his own. He finds an awkward tenderness with Margaret Ann, a vulnerable 14-year-old expressing a need for love in all the wrong ways, and befriends Kenny, who possesses an unusual innocence in spite of the harsh surroundings.
Love Kenny.
But that's like only a little bit of it.
Yeah, because like you have the trash thing going on.
Yeah.
You have like they're trying to move, and he keeps going to the house where they're supposed to move into.
Yeah.
There's so much going on.
Yeah, and it's about like, his place in his family that's like kind of so volatile and ever changing, and like it's his stepfather, right? Or is he his real father?
I think it is his stepfather.
I think he's a stepfather too. He had stepfather energy.
Yeah.
He's like super fucked up.
Awful.
Yeah. And like he's got his own storyline that's just like convoluted and crazy.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Ratcatcher? Especially as a debut feature.
Yeah, I think it's such a powerful feature to begin with, and I think it just instantly shows how much she like understands people.
Yeah.
And I feel like she takes like the loneliest feelings in life and then just makes it a whole movie.
Yeah.
And the fact that she can I mean, I don't know the minds of little boys, but like she depicts it, I imagine, so well. Just like this feeling of like earnest and like you want to fit in, but like you don't really know what that means, and
But you also like don't understand yourself and feel weird all the time.
Right. And like things feel wrong, but you don't know why, and then you just want to like kind of escape to a field.
Yeah.
Which is a common thing in her movies.
Yes.
Just escape to a field and you'll find peace.
I don't understand how she gets kids to act the way they do.
I know.
Every time she has a kid in one of her movies, or multiple like she does in this one, I'm just like, how do you, first of all, like where are you finding them? Because I know in this it's like a lot of non-actors, which is like a whole other thing, because it's like with non-actors,
That's even an added layer.
like you never know if they're gonna be down, like you don't know if you're just gonna have the camera running the whole time and hope you capture something, but that's expensive, and like this was obviously done for super cheap, and it's just like I would kill to know what she's saying to these kids to like get them to do what they're doing, because like I just don't understand how you
they have so many intimate scenes together, like two kids together, and that's just, I don't know how you direct that in a way where they seem so comfortable.
Yeah. Well, also especially like with the nudity, where it's like how do you get these two kids, and like when you're that age you're always weird with the other gender, and it's like how do you get these two kids to be like naked in front of each other, and like,
and it doesn't look awkward at all. Like it's just so tender, like it just feels like, I don't know, so natural for them to be that close and that comfortable.
For sure.
I know, like I want to see her in action.
Something that like cuz we're youngins in the film industry, and like it's a goal of mine to like write a feature, and it's so hard to like get out of like a 3-act structure, hero's journey, and it's like every time I think of something I want to write, I'm like, oh, this is so basic though, like the ending doesn't excite me, like I feel like I can't, like it's not like I like every time I try to think of something, I'm like, no, this doesn't excite me, and I just feel like this, especially being her debut, like I don't understand her mind at all. Like I'm like, how do you write like this? How do you edit like this? Like, it's like, again, like we were saying, like there's clearly like a base story that she starts with, and there is kind of that 3-act structure there for like some of the storylines, but it's so not as like clear cut as like, again, in film school that we're taught to be, in terms of being very clear cut.
I've seen this argument online a lot recently that I almost fully believe in that I think film school should teach less structure and teach you more of the world. And I think Lynne Ramsay is a good example of like what you can achieve when you don't constantly think about structure and the hero's journey and like
it's so prohibiting,
classical ways to, yes, it is. And that's something else I wrote about her, that I think she tells stories with feeling and less so about the actual story you're telling. It's almost like if I'm telling you this story, like what are the ways that you're feeling it, like in your body, and like how are you watching it with your eyes? Not about like how do I actually get them from point A to point B, and does this make logical plot sense, and like what are the like characters' motivations? Like obviously that stuff all there, but like I don't know, it's so much more about how it makes you feel than it is about like the 3-act structure.
Like her people are just so real that like you never question if are they following their wants, you know, like is this hitting the beat of the hero's journey?
Right. When have we ended act 1?
Right. And because that's like not how people are. Like I'm not always following my want. Like I don't know what that is just because I'm like a human living my life. And like her characters are exactly like that. Yeah. And then I remember we were taught in film school like each scene you want to get in and out as fast as possible. She doesn't do that. No. And it works so well. Like so many of her shots just like linger and linger and linger. And then your brain is just running and running and like figuring out more. And like, how do you know what you're doing? It's crazy.
I don't understand like how again she has like again the whole thing of like get in as quick as possible and get out as quick as possible, and how she doesn't do that. And usually when filmmakers don't do that, their film can be like really boring or like poorly edited. And I'm like, I just don't understand how she's able to make it compelling the entire time. I'm like how I like care so much about this random kid in this small ass town.
I know.
You know, I'm feeding, like my eyes are just feeding on every single second because I'm just like you were saying, like trying to figure everything out. Yeah. And I'm like, if this frame is like still lasting, it means she wants me to see.
Right. It means there's something else to discover, and then you like it's there. It's not just like a choice to be super artistic. Like she's saying something.
I also think, especially with Ratcatcher, in that it's about like a young boy and also like young kids, like there's this like group of kids, as I think like in some ways that's easier to relate to than like some of her other films about people with like vastly different life experiences as adults, because like we all know what it was like to be like 12 or 14 and like be struggling with your placement in your family and your community, who your friends are, even like I don't know,
figuring out your body,
ever changing. Yes, exactly. Yeah, puberty, like all of that stuff. Like there's something like so universal about that it's not like I'm questioning his actions as an adult. Like he's a child. Like we all know what it was like to be a child.
Can we talk about Kenny real quick?
Oh my god, my precious.
I just remembered his mouse on the balloon.
Oh my god.
And then there's that weird scene in space.
Oh my god, okay.
I forgot about that.
Do you want to explain the context?
Yeah, so if you didn't watch it...
what are you doing here?
There's this wonderful boy, Kenny, who is a lover of animals, and at one point, these bullies, like, take his mouse and then they give it back. And then I think to, like, fit in or something, he's like, look, mouse is going.
Because they're tossing the mouse back and forth. They're like making the mouse fly.
Right.
So Kenny wants to make his mouse fly.
Right. And then a few scenes later, we look up at him in his window and he's got his mouse tied to a balloon. And he just lets it go. And all the boys are like, holy crap, like you just watch this mouse go.
I think it's like almost completely silent too. Like all, like none of the boys are heckling. They're all just watching this mouse.
They're in disbelief.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's like that means something. Yeah. Or like it's representative of some feeling. And then the mouse like actually goes into space.
Yeah, and then there's a shot where you can see the mouse and the balloon like floating in space outside of the Earth.
Right.
It's like heading to the moon.
Right.
Oh, because they're saying because Kenny wants the mouse to go to the moon.
Yeah. It was kind of like just for me watching it, it was a moment of just like levity and pause to kind of relax, because in Lynne Ramsay movies, like the whole time your heart is tense. Like no matter what, you're like something's gonna go so wrong, and I'm just waiting for it to happen. Yeah, I kind of enjoyed the mouse going to space. I needed that.
It's also like it's such a almost lovely way to depict, like, I don't know, the effect that like a group of boys has on a boy who doesn't quite understand the world in that way. And like, he just loves animals so much. And originally he doesn't want them to toss the mouse around. Like he's like, isn't its name like Snowflake or something? Because it's like all white. Yeah. And he wants to like protect it.
I'm trying to remember the accent.
Whatever the Scottish accent is. But he's just like, he's so pure. And he doesn't understand the implications of it. Like, in his mind, like, he's really like Snowflake's gonna be on the moon, you know, and like that's so beautiful to him, and all these other kids understand that like he just killed his mouse, but that's not the way that Kenny thinks about it, because he's like, I don't know, he's so not involved in that like way of thinking of like everything is death and destruction.
Well, that also leads into another thing that Lynne Ramsay does in a lot of her films, is like these dream sequences where like you don't know if this actually happened, because they're kind of like never referenced again, but they also totally could have happened.
Right.
And like the end of this movie is like that, where it's like you don't quite know if they've moved into the new house and everything works out for them. Like,
right, because there's like an interpretation of, major spoiler, at the end of this film, and that James dies.
Yeah.
In the canal. But then the last shot in the field is like they're all moving in together.
Yeah.
But like,
you don't
is that real?
No, like Die My Love does that a lot, where you're like, is this real?
Like, you hope you're gonna snap out of it and it's gonna be a dream, and then like you're right, like it's just, you just kind of keep going.
You don't
and
get
you're
any
like,
answers.
okay, so what?
Which
world?
Again, it's crazy that she's able to have these very surrealist sequences when, like we were talking about, so much of her filmmaking feels so real and emotional, and like this is a real person, and like this isn't just regular structure. Like, it's so fascinating to me that she's able to handle both.
Yeah.
And they live on the same plane, and it's like still so realistic.
Yeah. I think so much of that comes with her perspective, like in the films as well, because pretty much in all of these we're following one character, and we're so in their mind that like we're experiencing life as they are, and in some ways that you don't know whether that's like them being almost like delusional as a character because like that's who they are, or if they're actually experiencing this or doing this. But because it's like so in a perspective and just grounded in making you feel what that character's feeling, like you're just with it, you know, like it doesn't matter at the end, like if he lives or dies, you know, it's like about that feeling again of like this is what that character would be going through.
Kimmy, did you say her films are like an unfinished sentence?
I did.
Okay, so
You can quote me on that.
so that really reminds me of when we were in Prague, and Esteban was saying about some of our films that they're ending too neatly. Like, oh, your film just feels like a finished sentence. Like, it's punctuated perfectly.
And you're kind of like, no.
And he said that like kind of as a bad thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, that's too simple. Like Steven's film, he said that, like, you know how there's like the ending?
Oh, yeah.
And then they were like, whether or not they should keep that ending.
Right.
And he was like, and for a while I was like, oh, don't keep that ending.
Right.
Because it's like, you know, it's more satisfying. Like, you know the answer.
True,
right.
true.
But then when Esteban was watching it, he was like, no, the ending was necessary. And I was like, you're crazy. Like, why would you think that? And then you think about it and you're like, no, like, he's so onto something. Like, it's better to leave it, like, and not that it's leaving questions unanswered, because, again, like you said about this film, it's like, it doesn't matter whether it's true or not. It's just about the feeling you're feeling at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And,
it's
like,
not a plot hole.
Totally.
Like, at all.
Totally. And that, like, totally expanded my mind.
Yeah.
Of, like, oh my god, it doesn't have to be satisfying or tie up the plot.
Yeah.
Or, like, tie up all the plots and everything. It's more about how you're leaving the audience and what feeling
Because
you want to leave them in.
That's so much like the film schoolification of like all of our films is like we had to have a specific ending. Like it has to make sense. It has to follow what the character wanted in the beginning, and you know what they get in the end, and like all this stuff. It's the catharsis of it. It's all this stuff. But like none of that matters if you can tell good stories. And I feel like she has this like very visceral like filmmaking style that it's like it literally like it doesn't matter. Obviously like it does. Absolutely. But like when you're watching it, you're just so with it because you're like, I'm compelled by absolutely everything I'm seeing and hearing and feeling, that like I didn't need him to just die in the end and then like we see the funeral. Like that would have been so much
it's
more
like,
unsatisfying.
it's an end of the sentence.
Right, exactly.
And you realize, I don't want the end of the sentence.
I don't want it.
No.
Like,
Yeah, that's so true.
I will say though, and I don't want to say this is, because I don't find anything negative or not good about her work, because I think I just really fell in love with her style and her during this. I will say though, her style does make her films, I think, a little bit more unaccessible to like I think like we really enjoyed them, because like we've talked about this a lot, like, and I feel like especially in the last year or two we've really have fallen in love with films that during film school we probably
would
have hated.
Yeah.
Like, and I think like it's just like, I don't know, it's just part of growing and getting away from like, I have to watch this to learn versus like, oh, I'm watching because I want to be a better artist, you know? And I will say like, I can't see her films being like super accessible to the general public, like the public that like maybe sees a film once a year in the theaters. Like I cannot see that, and I think that's okay. Like I think a lot of filmmakers, you know, are like, I want my films to be liked by everyone, and some filmmakers are like, I'm okay if this reaches one person. And I just also found that really interesting about her and about kind of my own realization of how I consume media now, where I was like, wow, I really don't think I would have enjoyed any of these like 2 years ago. Like even a year ago.
What's the point?
Exactly.
You know, like not all films have like a clear point. But that's not needed.
Totally. And I'm so happy I watched these now, because I'm like, I feel like I like really enjoy them and understand them now as I'm trying to figure out my own voice as an artist outside of school.
I also think like in today's society where everything is like an iPhone film, where it's like, you know, if you can't be scrolling
TikTok
on your phone while you're watching, like if you're missing the plot points, then it's a bad film. Like that whole thing of like everything needs to make perfect sense and everyone says what they mean. Like it's so nice to find these, and in some ways it does feel almost like you're putting in a lot more work watching them, because you are actively thinking the whole time about like what's gonna happen, like what does this thing mean, what's that gonna mean for later, and like you're investing a lot of yourself in it, and
but
like
it's a good thing.
Which is a good thing.
It's a good thing.
But it is rare now to find that, because everything is like an iPhone film.
So many films I feel like, especially on streamers, like they hope that it will fit in like a vertical format. Like
that's crazy.
I know
so
a lot
sad.
of people for like the newest Stranger Things season said a lot of it felt like the framing was very centered, so that it could be shown on like TikTok or Instagram Reels. And I think you see that with like a lot of mainstream blockbuster movies.
Because they are just like, trying to reach the widest
that are like,
audience.
oh, we gotta make sure it's in the middle so that when we put this on TikTok or like put trailers on TikTok, it like fits that better. That's awful. And I don't know, I think not to get too deep like you were saying about today's society, but I think it's so frustrating how it seems like AI and technology is trying to make us think less, and I think it's just like our duty as artists and just viewers to seek out films that like are hard to watch, you know, that are like, I have to sit down for 4 hours and I need to really consume this.
I would say that to the mainstream too. Like I think the way that you could make these films, like pitch them to be the most accessible as possible, is to say like you will feel smart watching this, you know what I mean? Like you come away like feeling almost accomplished in yourself, that you
feel like you read a book.
Went on that journey with them.
For real.
That like so if you feel like you're watching too much crap that over explains to you, watch Lynne Ramsay.
Watch Lynne Ramsay.
Get in there. It's good stuff.
Great.
You very lovely have some other information about the films.
I'm always curious who the DPs are. Morvern Callar, I don't know how to say it without a Scottish accent, and Ratcatcher were DP'd by Alan H. Kukler.
Yeah, you got it.
Kukler. There's 2 little dots over the U. They shot with Ariflex and Cook lenses.
Love Cook lenses.
And I will say, like, we were talking about the visuals of Lynne Ramsay, like, her first 2 films especially have very similar visuals, where it's just so gritty. And like, I just want to get in there with like a Lysol wipe. And just like give it a good scrubbing.
They're almost like documentary, kind of like on the fly shot.
Right. And it's like, they'll be like beautiful, like painterly kind of wides. And then even the close-ups and the wides are so like intentionally composed. I have to think about Morvern Callar, but I'll wait till we get there.
I think we could... Actually, one final thing about Ratcatcher. Yes. Found this out. The canal and the flat were studio sets. Isn't that kind of crazy?
That's insane.
The canal.
Ain't no
because
way.
BBC
it's BBC.
Helped make this.
Yeah. So she got a budget. So they built those as sets.
Who's the production designer?
Whoever it is,
I thought this was like, I got my friend's house.
Run and gun.
We're just going to her flat.
Right.
Like, that's like what it looks like. I was like, oh, it's so lucky they found a canal right next to this neighborhood.
That's crazy.
Good job. Like
the sets look so smelly.
They do.
Like they're so smelly. And then when you're done watching, you're like, oh, thank God. Like, I need to, like, take a shower or something. But, like, she kills that.
She kills that.
It's a very interesting feeling.
So 3 years after Ratcatcher is Morvern Callar. So it came out in 2002. And it's the beginning of Lynne Ramsay adapting from novels, which is cool. From here on out, they're all adaptations.
Interesting.
Which I think is really cool. Wow. So Morvern Callar, which, again, you're supposed to say it with an accent. And
Morvern
Callar. You know, we're American. It's going to be what it's going to be. So after her boyfriend commits suicide, a young woman attempts to use the unpublished manuscript of a novel and a sum of money he left behind to reinvent her life. That's like you can pretty much sum up.
That's like, I will say though, that's like the first 10 minutes.
But yes, but there's like, it gets so much crazier. Yeah. You know?
It does.
But like, that is somehow both the first few minutes and only the last few minutes. And the middle is like entirely different.
I will say, I think this is my favorite beginning of any of her movies.
Oh my God,
because I think you're just really dropped in there. Yeah. Like, it starts, you understand immediately, oh, boyfriend killed himself. Yeah. You're somehow alive. Computer.
Yeah.
And you're like,
suicide note.
And there's no words. Like, the first one she said is when she's at a telephone booth and someone random, like, calls the telephone booth. Yeah. And you're just like, why is this important? I also, the thing I was going to say, like, the tree constantly.
I have that too.
Was so. No way.
I wrote the Christmas tree.
Yeah. I interpret it as, like, it's like the grief, like, constantly pulsing and, like, the reminder that she hasn't actually, she doesn't address it. Yeah. Ever.
What I love is that, like, obviously it's so prevalent in that first scene in the beginning. Yeah. And then it's still there, like, throughout the whole movie. Like, she goes to Spain. It's Spain, right? Yeah. Yes. She goes to Spain and then she comes back and it's still there. And it's like, that is such, like, a simple thing to do. You know, it's not, like, it's just like, what if we just had the Christmas tree lights blinking the whole film? Right. Yeah. And you're like, that's literally, like, looks-wise, it looks so cool. Like, the colors and the blinking. And then, like you were saying, metaphor-wise, of, like, the grief and, like, this is genius.
Yeah. So good.
It's so simple.
Right. Yeah. There's a scene, I forget where she is, but is she on the phone? She's doing something, and, like, in the right side of the frame is a window that looks out to the street, and there's, like, a super out-of-focus light that is blinking. Oh. And I was just like, oh my God. Fucking how do you even go about that?
Everything.
She thinks of everything. It was so good.
I also like, sorry. No, you go.
I was just going to say, Morvern Callar is played by Samantha Morton, who is phenomenal in this. She's if anyone's seen Minority Report, she's the main precog.
She's in Minority.
Oh my God. What's
her name?
Morton.
She is.
Wow. She's like that. She's phenomenal. So good. And this is really early in her career, I believe.
Wow. She's in a lot. Oh, she was in that new Daniel Day-Lewis movie.
Oh.
Anemone.
She's amazing. She, like, carries this film so effortlessly.
I think like if I wanted to be an actor, like, I would be so afraid to be cast in a Lynne Ramsay film, because if you're the main character, you gotta carry that shit, like, almost entirely. Yeah. Like, everything is on you. Right. Like, you cannot mess up.
And you're gonna be put through the ringer.
Yeah, and it's emotional.
The story hates you, bro.
But also, like, what's so interesting, I don't know if this is just Morvern Callar specifically or all of her movies, but, like, okay, I'm just gonna talk about Morvern Callar. She never, like, completely breaks down, screams, like, falls apart. No. It's just the whole movie is so, like, you're just, like, in your throat the whole time. Yeah. And, like,
it's the same with Tilda Swinton.
Oh my God. Yes. That one is,
like, she never. Oh my God. She has so many reasons to break down. Yeah. And she never really does.
Right. And that was another thing I wrote is, like, and we were talking about catharsis. Like, you think each movie. Every single time I watch one of her movies, I'm like, okay, I'm just waiting for the scene where she breaks down, cries, and then gets better. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it doesn't happen ever.
Like, the way she copes is steal her boyfriend's manuscript, go to Spain, get the deal, make a bunch of money, and drop all of her friends.
Yeah, literally, like, leave her best friend behind there.
Like, that's crazy.
But I think, like, I love Morvern so much as a character, because it's, like, I don't want to say comical, but it is almost like a heightened version of reality where, like, her boyfriend literally is just committed suicide, like, left her behind. And in his note is like, I know this makes no sense to you, but like I had to do it. And like it really doesn't make any sense. And I think she understands that too. And she's like, I'm just gonna fucking get on with my life. Like I have this opportunity to take his manuscript, say that I wrote it, go and get this money.
Her name right away.
She deletes his name. She writes her name. And I think it's just like she doesn't tell anyone that he's died, and she just does anything she wants from that point on. Like I feel like she just is like, well, fuck it. Like I'm gonna do whatever. I'm gonna like follow my instincts and just like do what I want to do what makes me happy.
Yeah. It's also interesting how like you don't really know who she is before, or like what their relationship was like. I don't know if they were happy. She wears a ring on her wedding finger, but I don't know if they were married. And like you kind of only figure out her life through like her partying. Like, she's a party animal, but she's got so much going on inside.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, I loved all of these films, and I think it's so hard to rank them, but for some reason, this is the one that's lingering with me the most.
Yeah.
And I think, like, it's a lot of reasons. Like, I think we're similar in age to Morvern, and, like, not that we would do any of that, but, like you were saying, it's just kind of, like, this heightened version of your emotions, of, like, not something we'd wish we could do, but just, like, man, like, I wish I could be that spontaneous, you know, like, I so understand where she's coming from. Like, every decision she makes, even though they seem crazy, I'm also like, no, I totally get it. I know. Like, I'm with you. Like, I'm there.
Like, when her and her friend, she, like, takes her friend to Spain randomly. And also, this is after she finds out, right, that her best friend slept with her boyfriend, which is crazy. And then they're in Spain, and they're, like, she's just, like, dragging her friend around. Like, they're just doing whatever Morvern wants. Because she doesn't give a fuck. Like, she's on her own journey. Yeah. And then at one point, they fall asleep on the side of the road, and she wakes up early and just leaves her friend there. Yep. And it's kind of so beautiful. Like, obviously, I would never do any of that. But, like,
but part of it is
her. Like, no. She found
That's
peace.
what she needed to do.
She knew what she had to do, and she did it.
And her friend was wild.
Her friend
She'll find
sucks.
her way.
Yeah.
She will find her way.
I think that's the catharsis.
Her friend leaves her in Spain. Anyway.
Yeah.
They leave each other, I guess.
Yeah.
I also, like, concerning the style, it is very similar to Ratcatcher, but for me, it really was, like, very mumblecore, like this 2000s style mumblecore of, like, not just grainy and, like, the shots kind of seeming random, but just how quiet it was, and then suddenly how loud it was, the themes of it, and I think Lynne Ramsay's style, I would say I think the camera just gets better, like, so in her later movies, and I think she gets bigger budgets. But to me, this just feels like such a time capsule of, like, it's still very unique, but it just still feels like so, like, oh, this is 2000s. Like, this is, like, it's so cool.
There's, like, a strange quality to the sound throughout it, where it sounds like you're hearing it through, like, a metal room.
I even looked it up.
But I kind of loved it.
Yeah. I even looked it up because I was like, this sounds, like, wrong. But then weird. I realized I was looking it up because it was making me feel really uncomfortable. Yeah. I was like, okay, so it's
and it does the whole time.
It's
like tinny. Like, has a tinny quality that, like, every time someone speaks, and, like, when they walk, when their footsteps, it, like, echoes in a weird way.
Right, like,
it's,
you're
like,
hearing it in, like, a concrete room or something where it's, like, reverbing back to you.
I love to have
really
Julian watch it, because I bet he would know.
Oh, yeah.
He have good insight on that.
Our sound friend. Yeah. Great film.
One last thing. Another shot I really, really liked, because that's the thing with her is, like, again, like I said, like, the shots feel so random and, like, documentary, and, like, she's just kind of capturing them, and then they'll just be, like, the most incredible wide, and you're like, this is so well crafted.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like you spent, like, 2 days on this. Yeah. And there's a shot of her when she's on the balcony in Spain, and the apartments are in the background, and they're very layered. Like, it feels like almost like graphic design. Like, it was placed there, but obviously I think it was real. And it was just one of those moments where I was like, dude, like, why are you just dropping this, like, most beautiful shit? Like, it's so crazy. And it feels so random, but then it makes you pay attention, because you're like, whoa, this suddenly feels very, like, intentionally crafted. I feel like something really important's happening right now.
That's almost true of like all of her films, is that things happen that seem, like, really random, and in the moment they don't always seem to make the most sense, or even, like, in terms of the structure, especially in, like, when you talk about Kevin. But then, like, once you're getting through it, like, once you're really, like, experiencing it, you're like, okay, I understand, like, why all these choices are being made, why this does feel like it's kind of out of place, because it all, like, it does come together in your mind where you're like, oh, I see why she did that.
Right.
So good.
Something I really like about her films, which I think is consistent throughout all of them, is that the outside world doesn't influence the character too much. Like, it's purely you are following the character's, like, interpretation of reality. Like, remember in Morvern Callar, like, there's a scene when she's working in the grocery store, and it's literally her manager just watching her through a window. Like, that is the shot of the manager, and I was like, she's gonna get fired, like, her life is gonna get worse and worse, and then it just ends, you never see the manager again. And it's just like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I don't know.
But it makes you think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's genius.
Yeah. Well, following Morvern Callar, there is a 9-year gap between films.
Do we know why?
So I have some information. I don't know the particular order of events, but it's very, especially, well, that wasn't today's day and age, but like it's rare for filmmakers to take so much time off between films, because I think there's like a fear of like losing like relevance and momentum and all that stuff. People are not gonna want to watch your films if they don't remember who you are and what you've done. But like she doesn't give a fuck about that. I know
she's okay. She could take 20 years off. I'll start. I don't care.
If Lynne Ramsay has no fans, we're all dead.
We're dead, bro.
I do know she had kids at some point in here, either between these two or between You Never Really Hear and Die My Love, or somewhere between all of this, because these next 3 films have very large gaps between them. I know that there's a lot of, she was in like development hell for a lot of films, so she was originally,
weren't we talking about that, where if you look at her IMDb now, and it's like
crazy.
Future projects,
There's a million.
There seems like a lot.
Yeah, so I have some of them. Well, this is a film that's out. She was signed on to write and direct The Lovely Bones, but then Steven Spielberg bought the rights and brought on Peter Jackson. And I think there was some creative differences as well. And then she kind of got booted off of that project.
Lovely Bones, directed by Lynne Ramsay, would have killed me.
It'd be worse. It'd be so...
That would actually be somehow worse than actual Lovely Bones.
Yeah.
I hope
Worse
Stanley
for you
Tucci would still be in it. Yeah. Oh my god.
I can totally imagine though. Like I can't like that's what like really amazes me about her, and also why it doesn't surprise me she hasn't made like a big budget studio film, is like I cannot imagine being a studio exec or a producer and going up to her and be like, you can't do that. Yeah. And she'd just be like,
you don't understand.
You have
what I'm doing.
Yeah. You don't understand my mind whatsoever.
There was another film, I don't remember what it was anymore. There was a pretty well-known cast involved, like signed on, and she really wanted to shoot in a specific location. I want to say it was like Iceland. It was like somewhere. She would like had a vision. She was like, we're gonna shoot it here, and the studio said no and wouldn't let her, and they paused it eternally. Which, like, I think that's what it's probably like to work with her. Like, she has such a vision, and she won't compromise.
Yeah.
Film no compromise. But that's what makes her film so strong, too, is that they're so entirely
they're so directed.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's such a breath of fresh air when you're watching something and you realize, like, you're in the palm of the director's hand.
Yeah.
You're like none of your emotions are there by accident.
Yeah.
Like you are being guided.
Yeah.
Like you think you're an independent free thinker. And then you're watching the film and you're like, oh my god, the director has their grasp around me. And none of this is by accident.
Yeah.
And it's like she's definitely a director that's like that, where it's like every single moment is like so intentional, and it's like so rare and so nice to realize that. Like it's so awesome.
It's also, I feel like, rare to have a female director who's like that too, because I think men are known for being stubborn and almost like very controlling, quote unquote, in some ways, of like the story and every aspect. And to have a female filmmaker who's that level of dedicated and just masterful and like has the command that she has, I think is really amazing too. And to rewrite the narrative of her not being like toxic, but that she's just very thoughtful and knows what she wants. And it's not like controlling.
Thoughtful is such
for
a good
her
word
she's
for
a
it.
woman.
Like it's just thoughtful.
Yeah, because she knows what she wants, and she's not going to compromise on that vision. And that doesn't make her bad because she's a woman. It just makes her a really great director.
Period.
For sure.
I love her.
Also with Oh, really quick. With Die My Love, like, she was approached by Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
So, like, that's why, like, that whole thing started.
Yeah.
But it's
J-Law emails you, texts you,
Oh,
sets
this
a
is funny
meeting.
too.
Tell me.
Really quick to jump ahead.
No, tell me.
Jennifer Lawrence did reach out to Lynne Ramsay with Die My Love, saying we should make this. Lynne Ramsay didn't respond to her for about 6 months.
What?
Then got back to her and pitched a different project. But Jennifer Lawrence was like, no, like, let's go back to Die My Love.
Like, I know this.
And then Lynne Ramsay, I think, wrote either like a treatment or a first draft and was like, okay, like, yes, I'm into it.
That's crazy
Yeah.
that J-Law just, like, knew.
She knew.
She was like, I'm sure she watched her other movies and was like, and then read Die My Love and then was like, dude, Lynne has to do this.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
I think we need to talk about Kevin is maybe why she was approached. Just because of the depiction of, like, being a mother.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Do your intro for...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's get into this movie.
There was another... This is a funny tidbit before we get into the darkness of when you talk about Kevin. Somewhere in between all these, like, breaks, she spoke heavily about... She was in development for a Moby Dick adaptation called Mobius that's set in space.
What?
And it's still technically in development, but it's just not been made. And more recently, this is on her letterbox. She's developing a film called Polaris with Joaquin Phoenix and Rooney Mara it's following a photographer in the Arctic in the 1910s who meets the devil, which I need.
That's fire.
Like, yesterday.
I'm ready for
It's so interesting how all of her development projects are so different than the movies she has, because like all of her movies like feel so grounded, and like even though something crazy happens, and especially in her most recent 3 movies, I'm sure she would do a wonderful job doing a sci-fi or a period piece, but I'm like, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like,
I'm like,
what would that be?
I'm like, oh my
so
god,
curious.
Lynne Ramsay doing sci-fi, like that's crazy.
That's why she pitched a different film to Jennifer Lawrence. It was actually, she said it was something lighter because she didn't want to feel like she was being boxed in by like these really dramatic, severe films. But Jennifer Lawrence convinced her to do it, which is good. Like, I'm glad.
It's so good.
Yeah, but like she really, and she was in development for a Stephen King story, I think too. Like, there's just so many films that she was like working on that didn't go through.
She has to develop Stephen King. Oh my god,
it would be good. She could do anything.
That would actually change my life.
I do want to see her do a lighter film. Like, I do want to see that vision because I know she could do it.
She could make so many of her films do have moments of like beauty about the human experience where you're like, yeah, I'm happy to be alive. So I think an entire film about that would like wreck me, but not in an unsettling
She needs a hopium
way.
She
needs a
hopium.
hopium.
She
would kill
like
that.
you said, I think she'd do a great job.
Yeah.
Because she clearly knows how to do it.
She understands humans more than anyone I know.
Okay, well, talking about knowing humans, we need to talk about Kevin. Came out in 2011. It's another adaptation. It's adapted from a 500-page book of just letters.
Yeah.
Which is a crazy thing to adapt.
My mom read it. She said, don't read it.
Okay.
Not that it's bad. Not that it's bad. It's very good.
Letters about what?
It's between Kevin and Tilda Swinton's character. And it's like, it's him already in prison and her and outside. And the whole book is them exchanging letters. Like, probably about what happened, probably about how they feel about each other, probably about everything you see in the movie.
Oh my god.
And my mom was like, it's a doubter. And I was like, I can imagine.
It's a doubter.
I think I could imagine.
Well, here's our synopsis from Letterboxd. After her son Kevin commits a horrific act, troubled mother Eva or Ava? Eva?
Oh, I can't remember.
Oh, it's spelled EVA.
Probably
Eva. Troubled mother Eva reflects on her complicated relationship with her disturbed son as he grew from a toddler into a teenager.
I think this movie's other title should just be Birth Control.
Yeah,
for real.
For most of her films, like, in some ways, they're all
it's just we need to talk about Kevin,
birth control,
aka birth control.
Yeah, aka the reason I'll never have children.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I wrote literally WTF. The most unsettling. This, Em and I watched this together. Afterwards, instantly put on Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Because I was like, brain needs to be thinking
so
about
funny.
something else right now.
We were like we were like in a good mood. We were like, oh, we should like, we'll do our homework. We'll watch it. We talk about Kevin. We didn't really understand the full weight of it. Like, unfortunately, there was like a commercial break halfway through.
I know.
The whole time, we didn't say a word.
No words were spoken.
It was like mouth open watching this. Yeah, and then right at the end, palate cleanser. Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
If you haven't seen it, don't watch it during the day. Watch it at night. Maybe.
I don't
When's
know.
the right time?
I think don't watch it with anyone in your family. Watch it with friends. Close
an
friends.
emotional support person.
Yeah.
Yes. No one in your family. I think it's got to be a friend.
Don't watch
very
it with
close
your
friend.
mom.
Don't watch it with your mom.
Yeah.
Don't watch it with your child.
No.
Yeah. No.
But do watch it.
It really is like, it cannot be understated enough. Like, it makes sense that this is kind of like her breakout. And I can kind of imagine it for a few reasons. One is like, spoiler, is that it's like very related to school shootings, even though he uses a bow and arrow. And I think like the timing of this film is kind of crazy because this is when like, you know, school shootings kind of that unfortunately they've always been a thing here in America, but I feel like the early 2010s to the late, like basically all of 2010s, where like it got really prominent again. So like I can imagine this just being like, and like media rarely touches upon it, which I find really interesting.
Or in a way that's like really good, you know, or like thoughtful.
Like usually it's in like crime shows or like medical shows.
Yeah.
Like The Pit.
The Pit.
They did a good job though. And it's like, this is the first time I think like the darkness of it was really explored. Like it was very much about the shooter and about the family, which I feel like you don't. It's usually
the rare part.
It's usually like very much about the victims, which I think it should be. But in this, it's like, it's crazy because you kind of like, you just see exactly where it starts, especially like literally him being a baby.
Right. But like what was so hard to watch about this film was like, I know something bad is going to happen. I just don't know what and like how. Something I love about Lynne Ramsay films is like how she opens it, like that first shot. And we need to talk about Kevin specifically. It's just like a slow push into their patio door. The curtain. And you're like, you're like,
I thought it was with Tilda.
No, that's like probably the second shot. It starts with just like a 30-second long push into this window.
And it doesn't make sense till the end.
Yeah. And then this is a conversation we've had a lot, is the editing of this film is really something else. And I did read the first 2 pages of the script.
Yes.
So the film...
Explain.
Help me out because we haven't seen it in a while. So it starts with the curtain. And then there's a sequence of Tilda Swinton's character at this
living it up
festival where they like throw tomatoes, which I know was like super hard to shoot. And then it goes into her in the modern day.
Yes,
and
it's her trying to find a job.
Yeah, but she's having flashbacks with this one interaction with her family when they were all still together. With like the daughter. I think it's right after she gets the eye.
Yep. And then the dad like dances with her.
And then, but that's flashing between her modern.
Throughout it's also flashing between her visiting Kevin in prison, but you don't see his face quite yet.
Right. Yeah.
And then she finds the job. But before you see her at the job, it then starts her raising Kevin. Yeah. And then that flashes between her at the job. And then
eventually it's her at the school walking
up to the door. And the day she finds out what happened.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then it ends with the prison. And you see Kevin.
Yeah.
And you understand.
And then it ends with what happened to the dad and the daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy structure.
So wait, you read this script?
I read only the beginning because I was curious because the beginning is so not linear, you know? Right. It's so much like the curtain, the tomato, the getting a job, and then like this seemingly happy moment with her family. Mm-hmm. It just starts with that happy moment with her family.
Wow.
So like the first scene is it just plays the whole way through of like the dad coming in and all this stuff. You gonna find it?
I'm gonna look up who edited it.
That's a good question. Because it's very linear in the script. At least that first bit is. I didn't read a whole lot more.
Joe Binney,
whoever
you are, you scared me.
I can so imagine them filming like so much of this, like probably the script in order, and then they got to post and they were like, let me just get freaky.
Yeah.
And then they were like, and then they just vibe edited it.
Because again, I think it's like, it's the feeling of it. It's like,
editing.
if we start with this like happy scene of the family, what does that do for you? If we start with the curtain on the patio door open at night.
Intrigue.
You're like, immediately, what is this? And then you cut to Tomato Festival.
And
what's happening?
And the way you cut to it is like, you don't quite know, because it's a pretty like, it's either a super wide or a super close up, and you're like, what's happening to Tilda? Like, I know that's Tilda.
She's like on her back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like, she's such a free spirit.
Yeah.
She's got long flowing beautiful hair. She's got a bandana.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like pixie cut. So reserved.
Yeah.
They're like, something happened.
With the paint splattered on outside of her
Right.
house too. Like, she's a mess.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Yes,
she's drinking. She's taking drugs. Like, she's really.
Then she goes to find the job.
She gets the
for
job.
Sure. Yes,
Yeah.
I remember.
Dude,
Oh my
I don't
God.
understand. I wrote, I feel like this is common in movies, especially when Lynne Ramsay writes about mothers. It's like, here's this free, beautiful woman, bam, pregnant. And then the movie starts and you're like, fuck, like something's gonna go wrong. It's awful.
And especially, I just want to talk about John C. Reilly for
Oh
a
my
second.
God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think he was perfect casting. Because I think if she had casted any other man, you would have just fully hated him, and you fully would have been like, you unsupported, you like, not forced, but like, you got her pregnant and she doesn't want to be pregnant and you don't care about her feelings and you're not saying Kevin's a psychopath, but because it's John C. Reilly and he's like this teddy bear, you're like, I know you're wrong, but I love you and I know you mean the best.
And you understand his actions a lot more than if he was just like
because he's such a
awful.
caring human, like, or the way he acts is very caring, and like, you just got a teddy bear vibe to him.
Yeah.
And you're like, I know you mean well, but you're being really stupid right now.
And like, his character contrasted with Tilda's character. In the present, you're like, well, I guess not the present, where most of the story takes place, you're like, there's no way that these people ever like loved each other. They are so different.
Yeah.
Like, she couldn't be more, not uptight, I don't know, just like needs to go on vacation, and he's on vacation eternally.
Yeah.
And it makes it so much worse, because like, it just feels like she has no one.
Yeah.
She has absolutely no one to go with.
And she's also the one who's raising their kid,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
And she also just feels like so uncomfortable as a mother. Like,
Yeah.
you can tell.
Yes.
I think there's like a shot, it's like kind of the first time you see her trying to be a mother, and she's like bouncing the baby, and he's just crying and crying and crying. And like, there just feels like there's no maternal instincts coming from her. It's so unsettling.
But it's so well done too, because you so understand without her ever saying like, I don't feel like I'm a good mom or anything like that. Like, you just know that instinct's not there.
Dude, cannot overstate enough.
Yeah.
There is like zero talking in this. Like, I'm trying to remember. It's the only talking I remember significantly is like whenever she's talking to someone at work.
Yeah.
Or when
my
she's
God,
trying to
her
talk to
work,
Kevin when he's little, and she's like, bounce the ball. Give me the ball.
And I remember Kevin just constantly like torturing
just being an
her.
asshole.
He's a little
Yeah.
shit.
He's
so scary.
The little boy actor,
Hey,
I'm scared of him. I'm really
down.
scared of him.
Where you can just tell that he's literally thinking like, how can I manipulate my mom and make her feel bad?
And he does.
And he does it.
constantly.
Yes.
Oh my God, the arm breaking thing too. Oh my God, there's like this sequence.
I can't.
Well, he
my
like
God.
destroys her room.
That was like,
Oh my God.
I saw red. I was hot.
It's crazy. Like I like very much am a defender of children. Like, they don't always understand their actions. What's creepy about Kevin is that you kind of get the sense he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows that like his mom decorating her office with like photos of maps and all the places she's been and the places she's traveled to. He knows that's how he's gonna get her. If he destroys that room, he's gonna make her mad.
He's methodical about everything.
He's like a
Like,
psychopath.
he
nightmare.
understands their power dynamic, that he is
Worst
child,
nightmare.
so he is innocent,
Yeah.
and she is the scary mother.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is the same thing when what happens when she's like changing his diaper and then he immediately like poops his pants again.
Yeah.
And
then
she
she
like
hurts
hits
his
him.
arm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he like breaks his arm because he falls, and he guilts her about it.
Right.
Which
Because
like
he lies to John C. Reilly.
Yes,
He's
he
like,
does.
I fell. And
Yeah.
you're like,
You're like, why is he lying?
Why is he defending the mom? Like, why is he helping her?
Yeah.
And then he just, like, looks at her.
Yeah.
Oh my
he
God.
has something on her.
What's crazy about it too is like even though you're watching it and you're like, it's so unbelievable that a child would act this way. So you're like obviously we know he's crazy because of what he does, but at the same time you're like, am I just in Tilda's head and I am just vilifying him from her perspective?
Right.
Like, is he this evil?
Right.
Are
Yeah.
kids this evil?
I
Or
don't
am I just in
know.
Tilda's head and I'm dealing with a lot of things and I'm not bonding with him?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Right.
like everything you're seeing is either very subjective or not. And you don't know what's what. It's crazy.
Also, I'm so curious about the costume choice.
I was just gonna talk about this.
Okay, talk about it.
So I was reading about this.
Okay.
Yeah, so Kevin, even as an adult, not an adult, but when he's played by Ezra Miller and he's like in high school, he's wearing these like mini tees. They're like
They're like kind of cropped.
it's because he's still wearing kids' clothes.
Why
They're
didn't
essentially
he get new clothes?
It's because he's immature. He's like he's not grown up. He's like stuck in some ways in this
That's
like
really interesting.
yeah, and especially with the way that like I think his mom sees him too. There's like an element of him still being a little childish to them and like being a little bit not like a normal teen would act.
Right.
Yeah, that he's got these like little boys shirts on still.
Well, I think like something evil the movie does, but it's like evil genius about Kevin is like they're when Kevin's sick and finally seems like he needs his mom and loves his mom, there's a little bit of catharsis because you're like, finally Tilda can breathe. She's a good mom. Like everything's gonna be okay. It's like the Robin Hood thing, and it's like, oh my God, like I think that's such a special thing when you find something that your kid can connect to, and you're like, oh my God, I'm a great parent. And then the bow and arrow thing, because for the whole time I had a feeling it was going to be a school shooting thing, but I thought it was going to be like gun school shooting.
Yeah.
So the bow and arrow thing, I was like, went over my head. I was like, this is great. He's got a hobby. Like, and then even when he started totally like, even when he started being a bitch to his mom again, I was still so grateful that the bow and arrow, because I was like,
He has an outlet.
for sure. I was like, they found something. Like, this is clearly a difficult child. They're suffering, but thank God, right? And then the way the movie's like bow and arrow. You thought you were happy about that?
Yes.
Yeah. You shouldn't be.
Also because it's a thing that Kevin and his dad connect on as well. That like, or that's like his dad's touched on with him too. Is like supporting him with the bow and arrow and all this stuff. And and you think it's almost like it's like this healthy behavior he's developing. He's got a hobby. He's got something to fixate on. And then
It's
and
crazy
then you put
how
it
the movie
all
does
together
that.
at the end.
Like you finally there's something good to hold on to, because there's like zero good things. In this movie.
Right.
And it's like so positive, and then like
same with like in the first scene that they're flashing back to, he's just ordered the bike locks.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, because and he tells his parents like, oh, I'm gonna like resell them, like I'm gonna make money on it, blah blah blah. Like you're like, okay, like he's like an odd kid, but he's got a plan, you know, like he's about to make some bank. And then you understand what he really buys them for, in that he can lock the gymnasium doors shut when he's going to, bow and arrow.
This was the first film I watched of hers.
Yes.
And I think somehow she depicted like the problems with like American mental health like so well. And I don't understand, especially like the schooling system.
Yeah.
And I know it's like an adaptation, but just the way she was able to direct the characters, I think she did like so well.
I think it's like something only a non-American could commentate on.
Right.
Like I think we're too deep in it.
Right.
Like I think a
You
lot of
need that
directors
outside
were too deep.
perspective.
Like we need someone who's like, I know exactly what's wrong.
Right.
Let me literally film it for you.
Oh, yeah, it's interesting too that this is her first American film. First, and then
she
the
doesn't
rest all
stop.
are. Yeah. But I know what a way to out of the gate say like, this is how I like view American families
Right.
too.
Right.
Is and like like talking about it from the perspective of, this is what I was thinking about earlier when we were talking about how school shooting depictions usually show it from like the victim's perspective, which obviously like is also very effective, but because we're showing it from the mother's point of view, you kind of understand like what some of the root of it is too, and that we don't see mental health like as a problem or as like a something that we can get help for. Like she never like takes him to like a psychiatrist or anything like that. Like I think in some ways she doesn't understand what is wrong with him and is probably scared that it's a reflection of her as a mother. But that if you take her out of it, like he just needs help, like severely, and no one ever does anything. And John C. Reilly's character doesn't believe there's anything wrong with him. He thinks it's her fault.
But what's interesting about the ending though, when they're finally facing each other and you see the whole, like you finally see them in prison, not together, but like her visiting him, is like because she's like kind of narcissistic the whole time and is just so afraid. I think there's a lot of things with her relationship with Kevin, but like I think because she's not able to take herself out of the equation and just get him help, is that last shot where it feels like they're mirroring each other, like the way it's framed and how they're like directly across from each other and they're sitting very similarly. It's like oh, like because like I'm not saying like him committing the act was her fault, but I think because the whole time she was unable to take herself out of it, it's kind of like the ending of like you just kind of weirdly became each other or like weird reflections of each other in these weird ways.
Well, like just as much as he needs help, so does she.
For sure.
Like severely.
For sure.
Because she shouldn't have been hitting her child. Like she shouldn't have broken her kid's arm. Like there's a lot of things that like, not that it's her fault for what he did, but like she has a lot of shortcomings as a parent that she also definitely needed help with. And like, no one addresses the fact that, you know, like, they just need a therapist. And probably more than that, but, you know, if they took it seriously enough, or, like, if John C. Reilly trusted her in, like, what she was telling him about, like, their son, that, you know,
for sure,
this could have been avoided.
One last thing about kind of, like, this and, like, the fact that it's someone who's not American commentating on the American family. I found like the house really interesting. It was very of its time, number one. Like it's very like like kind of new
builder grade,
for sure. Like it felt like half finished, but I felt like the architecture of it, the size of it, and the color of it really added to a lot of the feelings here of it being like unfinished and like I don't know, it was such a perfect thing. Like, it's too big for their family, you know? Like, why do they need this big house? Why do they need this big yard? It's not solving any of their familial issues. Like, it's only making it worse.
Right.
Like,
it so doesn't feel like a safe house, and it also has no personality.
Because they don't work
feels
on
like
their
a
family.
Prison. Exactly. Which is, like, why Kevin destroying that room, the one place that was like, oh, she's like making it a home, was like, awful.
You know why too? Because she didn't want to move to the suburbs. She wants to stay in the city. But John C. Reilly is like, but like our boy needs a backyard to run around in. So she acquiesces and they move to the
such a lack of communication.
And then it's like the ground floor is like an open concept
too,
which is like so really horrific.
Vulnerable.
There's like nowhere to hide.
It's crazy because like my child home was like that, where it's like it had this very weird open living room like that just took up half the house, and you're like I don't know why this is here. Like it doesn't serve like
it's
the
not
house
feng shui.
like it's not it doesn't serve any functional purpose. And it's just so weird how in the movie it's like a reflection of their family and their inability to communicate with each other and actually make it a home. Like I just thought it was such a great like again, production team is just like eating like it's so
like
interesting.
They could have gotten like a really like small house and felt like super claustrophobic, but I think that would have felt almost more homey. It's like, oh, at least it's like, you know, cozy.
It's so big.
It's like open and white and barren. And it's really uncomfortable.
Genius.
Two left. Yeah, I know, only 2 left. And this is there's another gap between when you talk about Kevin and You Were Never Really Here of 8 years.
That's crazy.
So sometime in there, she's also developing things. I believe she's having children. Which also is kind of crazy to me that she has kids and like so much
especially
of her
after
films.
That movie.
I know. It feels like this is coming from someone who would hate children, but she has kids of her own.
I think, well, we can definitely talk about this with Die My Love, but like I like, you know, postpartum depression where you're like, my body is my own, but my life doesn't feel like my own again. Like that's well, it's not a simple feeling, but she creates a whole movie out of that like emotion.
Well, not to jump ahead to Die My Love, but something I find interesting that's different about We Need to Talk About Kevin is in Kevin, Tilda like very clearly like almost hates her son, whereas Jennifer Lawrence like loves her baby, like loves that kid, but it's about her dealing with the expectations of being a mother that other people put on her. Even though I think she's a great mother, like the whole movie, like she's so attentive, like loves that kid. Like it's so weird, and different how they're depicted.
I saw in an interview that Robert Pattinson and Jennifer Lawrence are both parents, and I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure originally they were supposed to be bad parents in the film, and then they all kind of agreed like, no, like let's not make this about like being bad parents. It's like they're good parents, and they're still feeling this way.
Yeah, that adds also so much to Jennifer Lawrence's character that it's not like she's awful and an awful mother. It's just that like she's going through it.
Exactly.
But anyway, back to 2017. You Were Never Really Here.
Crazy.
Great film. Adapted, again, from a novella this time. So it was really short. So instead of like boiling down 500 pages of letters into Kevin, you have Lynne Ramsay expanding on a very short story and getting more into the weeds of it and writing, like, I don't know, like adding to the character and the story. So, You Were Never Really Here. A traumatized veteran, unafraid of violence, tracks down missing girls for a living. When a job spins out of control, his nightmares begin to overtake him, and a conspiracy is uncovered, leading to what may be his death trip or his awakening. I loved this one.
So good. This was my first Lynne Ramsay movie, and I gotta say, I think Joaquin really won me over with this performance.
Very good
like,
in it.
I think he's a great actor in everything he's in, but he's always kind of bothered me sometimes.
Yeah.
And
it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
He's real good at that.
For this, though, it just felt like a director really understood him. Like, I feel like in a lot of other roles, he's often typecasted to be like crazy or unhinged or unpredictable, and I feel like the director's like, just be unpredictable, you know, that like Joker's very much like that, where it's like, you're mentally ill and unpredictable and go do that. But I feel like this, for some reason, it just feels like Lynne is like, I know where you're coming from, like I know exactly how to deal with you. She spoke
about that too, that she felt like she and Joaquin Phoenix really connected on this, and that a lot of it would come from him too, like because also this was shot like super run and gun, like they shot it very quickly in New York City. There was not a lot of planning that went into it, and I think that she didn't have a lot of time to prep with him either, but they would just like walk around and like find locations together too, and a lot of it was like almost spontaneous between them, like of just following their instincts, her as the director and him as the actor, and just like seeing where it took them, which I think is so beautiful too, because he's so good in this, like so good.
It's another thing, you know how you were saying in Morvern Callar, there's not a catharsis of her just breaking down. In this, he does break down, but it doesn't feel cathartic whatsoever. Like it doesn't feel like he's dealing with it by like, oh, you're finally breaking down, you're dealing with your PTSD and your grief. It feels like, oh, this is a sign you need help and you're still not getting it. Like and you're dealing with it by like doing these good things, but I also think doing those good things are harmful to you as a person, but I'm also glad you're doing these good things. It's like, I don't know, it's just so fascinating the way this character is treated. And also, like, one thing I really liked about it too, again, because this was my first time seeing a Lynne Ramsay film, is like, you don't know anything about him. Like, there are some random flashbacks where you're like, oh, I think you were a detective? You were definitely in the military?
Right. And him
like,
as a kid.
Yes, like, it's very, like, you're like, I think maybe, I don't know how long that was in your life. Like, it doesn't say any specifics, yet, like, you just, like, you feel like you know him so well, and you're like, no, I understand why you did that. Like, you didn't need to explain why you did that. I get you. Yeah. Like, it's so masterful.
It's so well done.
I will say, I have a bit of a different opinion on this film. We all watched it at the same time. I think I went into it with too many expectations, because we had just watched We Need to Talk About Kevin pretty recently, and I thought that all Lynne Ramsay movies were going to be that, like that, and then I went in with that expectation, and also, like you just said, like Joaquin Phoenix kind of being like a off the wall kind of character.
Yeah.
And it is a very not grounded movie.
No,
but
it's
right. Like it was just way different than I thought it was gonna be. And like I've almost like rewatched it just to be like, let me watch it, like knowing what it's actually about. But I had a hard time connecting to this one for some reason. But I mean, it was still very beautiful.
Yeah.
And, I totally understand, because like, one, I guess we can't say this is the first male like character, because Ratcatcher.
Yeah. But first adult
male. And like, he just has experiences that I think very, very little people can relate to. So I think like maybe the emotional entrance to this film is the girl, like, because even though she again has experiences that we couldn't relate to, I think she is such a good guide for him and for the audience of being like kind of grounding the film weirdly, even though this isn't like, I guess it is kind of, I don't want to say not common occurrence, but like it's less common. So I don't know, I thought she was a great complimentary character.
I also think his mom is too, like the mother-son dynamic. And I know Lynne Ramsay's talked a lot about this, and his joke that she wants to like cut a version of the film that's just the two of them, because also like apparently they were really good to work with, like the actress who plays the mom. I feel like there's so much there too. Like I kind of do want to film just exploring that dynamic. That would be really
cool, yeah.
Because she adds so much to who he is by her almost like very demanding, and like the scene where she's watching Psycho on the TV and then he makes like the like that's just so funny. I think that was from the actress when Ramsay was like, well, what would your character be watching? And she kind of jokingly said Psycho, and then like he came up with the making the sounds.
It's definitely like the film as a whole is less intense and like hard in your throat than we need to talk about Kevin. Like there is kind of moments of levity and you're like, is anything gonna go wrong? But like he actually ends up being like a good guy. And it's very surprising to see.
It's a happy ending in some ways, you know, like this little girl makes it out okay. He kind of like leaves that world behind. I think what I really loved about this film is that for a film that's like very actiony, and that like it kind of is like an action film in some ways, where he's like this, obviously he's John not Wick super but he's like heroic in some ways. Like he's doing this really good deed that he's finding this kidnapped girl, but what I love about it is that there's so much implied violence in it, and it's because there's no reason to watch young girls be hurt, like no. And to see that and to use that as a way to sell the film is so awful. And she never does that. Like all of the truly horrific things that happen off screen, you know, either in just the next room or like you never even see it to begin with. And I think that's the only way to show that level of violence.
I think, and I know I told you guys when we were watching it, I think, again, this was my first Ramsay movie. The moment I fell in love with her as a director in this film was when it cuts to, like, the security camera style of him going through the house. And he goes into a room, drags out an old guy, beats him, and then he leaves. And then, like, 2 seconds later, like, a little girl walks out of the room. And to me, that is just such amazing storytelling. Like, again, it's like we don't need to see what was going on in there. We barely even see the violence. We don't hear it because it's like, again, the security camera style. And again, but because it is that style, she looks like the little girl, you don't really see her face, but she looks so haunting in it. Like she looks like a ghost. And I was like that shot happened and I was like, I'm in love. Like this is such great storytelling. Like
that whole
I'm so on
sequence
board.
in the mansion was like so amazing.
Because again, it's like I kept thinking to myself, like, the violence is so delicate, and I feel like it's really hard to balance that line. And I think it's interesting because at the start of the film, they show the violence and it's him with the hammer, but you never get that up close and personal again. Like it's like just kind of introducing. By the way, this guy does this.
And he is a very violent man.
He knows how to do it. Just so you guys know. And then it's never really that, like, you don't hear it again. Like it's just like either security camera or you hear it off screen. Like it's just like it's such great like violent storytelling.
And
it's really
I do
good.
think like I'm just going to generalize. If this film was directed by a man, I think it would be entirely different. I think there would be so much, like, gratuitous violence, and it would be so much more uncomfortable to watch because you're also watching these horrific things happen. And I think there's so much more, like, sensibility to this in that, like, she knows when we're not supposed to see something and when we can get just the same feeling by knowing that it's happening and not actually showing it, because there's just no reason to show it, and it just makes it feel so much more sensitive to depict it this way rather than like, fuck it, we're gonna just show it, it's gonna be gnarly.
In my mind, I really compared it to Taxi Driver in a lot of ways, because like, again, it's like, it's New York, it's very gritty, it feels very run and gun. The main character, you don't know if you like him or not. You like some of the stuff he does. Like, he's definitely heroic, but he's not a good person.
He is also very violent.
Like, he's very violent. Like, it involves, like, young women being hurt, young girls. But I think, like you were saying, this movie just has such a delicateness to this that Taxi Driver, which, of the time, like, Taxi Driver is very much of the time, and it's, like, part of the allure of it is that it is so real and it's so visceral, and I think this is just a great compliment to that, where it's like, we can still do that, just in this, like, way different way. And, like, I don't know, I found that, like, so fascinating about this style.
I think that's also true of, like, we need to talk about Kevin, because even though it's about this, like, very, very violent act, you don't see that violence. You see none of it. You see him, but you're not shown any of the things that we might classically or typically be shown when it comes to, like, horrific acts of violence, because I think there is an instinct to, like, show it and, like, let you feel uncomfortable because you're watching it happen. And I don't think she feels any of those impulses to, like, put us through that. She puts us through absolutely everything else besides the most violent parts of it.
I forget, at the very end, though, she puts us through it one more time where you think he kills himself. And then it's a dream.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's so interesting that one of the few times she is so viscerally bloody and violent, it's not real.
It's not real.
Like, I found that so fascinating. And she's so clearly, I think, like, making a statement about violence and, like, how she's showing to depict it and how it fits better with this character when and when not to depict it. Like, I thought it was so fascinating. Really interesting.
Yeah. I also think this, along with, we need to talk about Kevin and even a little bit Morvern Callar, I feel like memory is, like, a big point that she plays with, like, because you are kind of flashing back with, is his name Joe?
I think Joe?
So.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
that totally sounds right.
It feels right.
I feel like he would be a Joe.
I'm not fact checking, you know. But so much, like, you're getting flashbacks of his life too, like, as he's, like, moving through this job, and there's just, I don't know, the way she depicts, like, memory too, because again, we're so much in just his perspective. Am I right?
Joe.
There we go.
Joe,
there we go.
My boy. I don't know, like, memory is just such a interesting, like, touchstone for the audience too, to get to truly, like, put us in these characters' minds. We also experience their memories, which is also very much true when you talk about
and also
Kevin
what's
in
not
the
a
beginning.
Memory. Like, what's also, like,
like, what
a
are they
fantasy.
imagining? And I love that. I think we need to talk about Kevin is, like, or sorry, You Were Never Really Here is maybe my favorite of hers in terms of just the way it can tell this story, the way it uses the kind of non-linear storytelling occasionally. It just feels, like, so well crafted in terms of, like, telling you just the amount that you need to know about this character to watch the film, and telling you not enough to explain everything away. I don't know, I just love her use of, like, memory and, like, and time in these films.
Totally.
She really takes that film medium and says, put you to work.
Yeah, she's putting it to work.
She puts you to work.
I feel so accomplished.
For
after
sure.
watching her movies.
Like, I did it.
I know, you got
through. I feel fed. I feel like I just ate a salad. But it was a sad salad.
Sad salad.
Do you have the DPs for
I
these
do.
films?
I'll
Kevin.
jump back. So I think Seamus McGarvey is how you say his name. He did We Need to Talk About Kevin and Die My Love.
And they dated.
They did?
They're exes now.
Oh my god, I remember you told me that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But that's kind of
Was that
beautiful.
before or after Die My Love? That's fascinating.
No, they broke up.
They broke up before. She's married to someone else now, but they did used to date.
That's beautiful. And then You Were Never Really Here was Thomas Townend, who I'm not. He didn't do anything else I recognized.
Okay,
Maybe you would. I encourage you to look him up. But Jarvis McGarvey also did Atonement. So,
wow.
He's a talented person.
Wow. Maybe just for the sake of time, too, we can jump into Die My Love.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
I'm ready.
we have a lot of thoughts. I know Kimmy's excited.
Yeah.
So again, there's another jump in time. I do believe she had a kid between these two.
Wow.
I could be lying. Lynn, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
Lynn, if you want to come on the pod,
Girl, get
correct
got
us.
space.
There's
Like,
always
right
space.
here. Right here.
Right next to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like we were saying before, this is another... She's loud, our ice machine.
She's so loud.
Oh,
Excuse me. Another adaptation, as we were saying, brought to Lynn by Jennifer Lawrence.
so cool.
And it follows. Came out in 2025. Grace, a writer and young mother, is slowly slipping into madness. Locked away in an old house in Montana, her increasingly agitated and erratic behavior leaves her companion Jackson worried and helpless.
Once again.
Great
log lines.
Can't even begin to
Doesn't
cover.
tell you the full picture.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
They crawl around on the ground a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say, like, dude, like, we know Jennifer Lawrence is a goat, but I just had a
She's a
thought,
goat.
like, while I was watching this multiple times during the movie, where I was just like, dude, I think she's, like, the best actor ever.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's so hard to be kind of acting unhinged and weird, and yet it felt so grounded and always justified.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel justified in, like, oh, like, she's a mother going through postpartum depression, and this is just another one of those movies. It felt, like, otherworldly.
Yeah.
Yet grounded.
Right.
Like, I don't understand how she
Right.
did that.
Yeah.
But I get it, and it's, like, I think what I love, we were saying this when we watched it, where it's, like, she doesn't have a long monologue about motherhood, about postpartum depression, about her
Right.
baby. Like, she growls. She crawls on the ground a
Right.
lot. And, like,
Because it's like not something that can be explained, and also like I feel like it's helping the audience so much, where it's like, no, just experience this
Yeah,
whole
live it with her.
thing,
Yes.
and like that's how you feel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so good.
I wrote that this was my favorite. It was also my favorite looking one.
Me too. Me too.
How beautiful!
I love the night.
It's
the
so
night,
blue. It's
the
like a
night.
blue-green.
Yeah.
It's like low-key Twilight Watch.
Yeah,
But
bring
I
back blue
love
night.
it.
It
Bring back blue
works.
night,
It
Jared.
literally feels, especially at night, it's like otherworldly.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And you're like, something's gonna happen. It just feels like we're not on Earth, like we're on another planet
Yeah.
or something. It's
Yes.
another like mother taken out of the city,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
to like build a family.
Yes.
I do love the setting. I think it's
Yeah,
so beautiful.
so beautiful.
The meadow.
I love the aspect ratio.
I think they
Love
shot in,
the
like,
aspect ratio.
Calgary or something. They
Oh,
shot
that's
somewhere
cool.
weird.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, super gorgeous.
Yeah, I just think it's so hard to capture what it feels like, not even to be a mother, but like just to be a woman. Like, I think sometimes it can just feel like so lonely and like nobody understands you, and you're like, am I crazy?
Yeah.
Is the world crazy? And should I just like run away into a field? Maybe. And I think this film does that. Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
It's beautifully.
I was also
beautiful.
I was reading an interview with her, or this was after it premiered at Cannes. I think like all of her films have premiered at Cannes. But after it premiered, there was like just a lot of conversations being had about postpartum depression, and then Ramsay gave like a very, very short interview saying, like, I feel like people are missing the whole point. And that, like, it is very much about postpartum depression, but the way she says it, it's also about so much more. It's about the breakdown of a relationship, the breakdown of love, sex breaking down after having a baby, and creative block, like, because she's a writer, and she's kind of, like, stuck for, you know, she has nothing else to write. And that, like, she's such a complicated character. It's not just, like, hi guys, postpartum depression is a thing, and this is what it's like. It's also like this relationship sucks. Like, they don't love each other like they used to. Like, they had a baby, and that fundamentally changed both of them. And and the role of like them as a family versus just them as a young happy couple. And then her being like an artist and not being able to create anymore because she's finding her identity as a mother. And I know the fact that like he's not really attracted to her anymore, like in the same way that he used to. There's so many layers.
I love the themes of this because I think in a lot of the other films, the grief is represented by like an actual person. Like in a lot of the other films, they've lost someone. They're grieving over that. And this, it's just like, it's so fascinating how she like grieves her own life. You know, she's like her own, like what it used to be, what they thought it would be. Like, I feel like it's just so fascinating how she's, it's like all of these things.
But
like,
it's also like, I agree.
Yeah.
And it's also like she loves her baby. Like, you know, she doesn't want to go. She's not going to go back and leave her baby. Yeah. But yeah, it's just this like indescribable feeling of just like something new, but you're also like mourning.
Yeah. I love, and we were kind of talking about this earlier, but I love that she's not like necessarily like unhappy in motherhood. It's just that it's changed her so much more than I think she knew it would. Like, I kept waiting for there to be like, oh, she's gonna like try and kill the baby or something like that. And it never happens. Like, and she has a line where something of like, she says like her baby's perfect or something like that. I'm like, that makes sense.
Like she defends the baby.
Yes. It's not the baby that's necessarily like caused all this. You know, it's also like the husband, like Jackson, and his role in it, and that they're in this like new place, and she is finding her relationship as a mother, and then like he gets her a dog. Like, that's
I was just gonna say classic. When he brought home that dog,
I know,
no turning back.
No, I was like irredeemable character.
I think the casting here for Robert Pattinson was perfect because again, like, he is an actor that is so well respected in the industry, and I think he's just someone that a lot of people like. You know, like. You know, I love watching him in interviews. Like, he's so quirky.
He's funny. Yeah.
I really respect all the roles he's taken.
He seems very down to earth.
I think he's so good in everything. And like in this movie, it's like the same thing with John C. Reilly, where you're like, you're making so many bad decisions.
And
like,
he doesn't have bad intentions.
No,
like, he's like, oh, life's sad, bring dog home.
And I can never be truly mad at him because I'm like, you're just going about everything the stupidest way possible. Yeah. And I think it's such a good representation of what wives are willing to tolerate from men, because it's like by the time you have the baby, I think she's really trying to say like they feel stuck. And again, it's not because of the baby. Like, it's not the baby's fault. Right. It just catapulted into this relationship where they both feel stuck. And so the man just does like all this stupid shit, either intentionally or unintentionally, and the woman just has to fucking deal with it. And I thought that was like such a great way to show it. Yeah. Where it's like, you're not listening. Yeah. You're not even trying to sympathize. Like, you're making it about you. Yeah. Like,
but there is times. You go.
I was just gonna say, like, in some ways too, like, he is almost like the audience's stand-in, where, because you're also going like, why is she doing this? Like, what is going on here? Yeah. And that's definitely what he's thinking. And like, also like, how do you deal with it? And he's not making the best decisions, but in a lot of ways he's thinking, or you're thinking exactly what he's thinking sometimes.
There is a couple scenes, I think I remember, maybe it's not a couple, where like they go driving and it's like a moment of connection between them where he does show concern for her, but it's just like, it's so hard to help that situation. And then it's also like, it can't really be helped. I wrote, when I was watching this, I was like, what's the solution to this like love dilemma? And when they were at their best was like when they like matched each other's freak. You know what I mean? Like when they're both like crawling around in the grass, I was like, now I don't think she feels as alone. Like I felt like she felt not helped. I felt like she felt supported then. But then when he acts like she's some like foreign person, it's like you're losing her. Like, just be there for her.
Be the freak, bro.
It reminded me so much of Night Bitch, which I really liked in the first part. I mean, there's a lot of things I didn't like, but like how she's like I don't know, feels more at home acting like a dog than she does like a
And then
woman.
the husband's just like, why are you acting like a dog? And she's like, because we're playing dogs today, and because this is what's working.
And the
like,
kid gets
get on the
it.
page.
Yeah, the
Get
kid
on the
gets
same
it.
page as
Right,
them.
Yes.
But
Be
yeah.
a freak, dude.
I
Like,
know, like, match your wife's freak, and it'll fix everything. And at the end, he
I
does.
fully believe
but-
that.
Yeah.
You just gotta match each other's freak.
You'll figure it out.
I think what was heartbreaking about this movie and frustrating, and I say frustrating in a way that, like, the story's so good that it frustrated me, was that, like, I think they really do love each other. Like, and they get off balance somewhere, and I think her getting off balance, and especially the way she acts, like, in the third act, I thought was such a good representation of how, and again, I think this is another critique of America, and I think society even as a total, of, like, we truly don't have the structure to help mothers. And I'm not even saying, like, just postpartum, but, like just mental health wise, like, we don't have great child care structure. Like, I thought, like, for me, the more Grace got unhinged was a representation of that, of, like, we really do not have the support system, or even, I think, the beginning of, like, the brain understanding of what's going through a mother's mind. Because I think we just figured out within the last 10 years that when you get pregnant and have the baby, your brain chemistry literally changes.
Yeah.
And I think that's a new development, dude.
Well, because science, like, does not love women, especially as, like, we've practiced it in our history.
No. And I don't know, I just, that, like, I realized that, like, the movie frustrated me because especially throughout the third act, I was so confused with the story. I was like, is this wedding a flashback? Are they just getting married now?
No,
like what's going, like, the thing with, like, the dream sequences, I was like, what is going on? Like, I still understand her, and I realized, I was like, oh, I think I'm supposed to embrace the chaotic of what's happening, because it's how she feels, and how she, like, no one is matching her freak or going out and meeting her on her level and helping her.
Yeah.
It was great.
I remember I was, like, really feeling connected to her, where it's just, like, something is off, but you don't know what. And then when she was getting, like, really freaky, I remember, like, some boys laughing in the theater, and I was like, you're the problem. You are the problem.
That's the problem.
This should be, like, tearing you apart. Like, you should be like, like, I don't know. She gets a gun at one point and just, like, walks down the road.
Looks so
I was
good,
like,
by the way.
like, that's what it feels like. Don't laugh at it.
Don't laugh at it.
What was I gonna say? Yeah. Okay.
I had something to say. I don't remember. I don't know. Something I was thinking about when I was watching it, because, like, as much as I love Lynne's films, she makes me, like, a little bit nervous. So when I was watching it, I was like, oh, the film's gonna end here. Or, like, oh, something happened, it's gonna end right now. Like, I just kept waiting for it to end.
I remember thinking that, yeah.
Because I was like, I feel like she's gonna do something crazy, and then it's just gonna end and we're gonna be stuck with it, you know?
Yeah.
And then it just kept going, and then I was like, oh, I see. And then it ends and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Now I understand
How
the
does
full
it
scope.
end again?
She
I don't remember.
walks into the forest fire.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes,
right?
it gets
Isn't that the
super
last-
freaky?
Yeah.
Yes, she
Yeah.
sets a fire, and then Robert
Yeah.
Pattinson is like, "What are you doing?"
And then he just,
let me
like,
take you
yeah.
out. And then she's like walking, and then she's naked and she's walking into the fire.
Yeah. But doesn't he see her at the
Badass.
end? Doesn't he?
I believe
like,
so.
And he just, like, accepts it.
Yeah.
I think that's, like, him finally understanding,
Being like,
what was going on.
I can't understand you,
Yeah.
but I can be there for you.
Yeah.
Like, I think.
Yeah.
While you walk
While
into
you
the
walk
forest
into the fire. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I found this. This is also from Letterboxd, like a Lynne Ramsay talking about
Sponsor
her film.
us.
Oh my god, I love you guys so much. But I think this is a good way to describe, just in a couple sentences. She said, "Do you see this kind of subject very often? Probably not. Do you see this kind of woman very often? Probably not. She's unapologetic. She doesn't give a shit. She doesn't think there's anything wrong with her." And I feel like that also kind of describes Morvern Callar, in that she doesn't think there's anything wrong with her, and she doesn't care. She's gonna do what she's
It's
gonna
the
do.
world that's wrong.
Yeah,
We're
it's not the
supposed to, like,
women.
fit into this box.
Yeah.
And it's so refreshing to watch it.
Right.
Because, again, I think, like, what I was saying, like, the lack of support structures makes it feel like it's the mom's fault for feeling the way she does, because there's nothing around her telling otherwise.
Yeah.
So it was really refreshing to watch a character that was, like, even though she was technically acting crazy, she was like, you guys are all insane. Like, I'm the only person that knows what's going on.
Right.
Like, and I was like, so with her. I was like, no, dude, you're right. Like, everyone else is crazy. Right. Like, you are so in the right. Like, all these moms are being super weird around you, and it's their fault. And I really do think that. I'm like, I think she just, Jennifer Lawrence is so good.
She's so good.
And I was just, like, on her side the whole time.
Yeah, like, why should she have to fit into this box that she clearly doesn't fit into?
Yes.
Like, why should she, like, give up her soul and, like, stop creating?
For sure.
I don't know.
So good.
I love that. Well,
What did it win? Did it win a Golden Globe? Did it win anything?
Well, this is like the conversation we had in last time, and that I think, unfortunately, the women are too complex and too much of a woman's story to be very much in competition with best drama.
It wins in my heart.
It wins in my
every
heart.
time.
I'm curious for the Oscar nominations to come out. Because, like we were saying, I think Jessie Buckley is definitely shoo-in for winning. And I so deserved, by the way. Yeah. I would like to see this get a nomination. I'd love to see Amanda Seyfried get a nomination, like I was saying last time.
Talk about freaky women.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I hope Rose Byrne either wins or gets a nomination.
And I'm really glad she got the Golden Globe. Because I really didn't think it was going to happen.
Me too.
And I hope Wicked continues to win nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd like to see this film and others like it get some more recognition. For sure.
I'd also like, I mentioned this a very long time ago, very briefly, and I think I've been slightly misproven in terms of like this film's marketing. But I think very often you don't see like a film by Lynne Ramsay.
Oh, right.
Especially when it comes to like women directing. I think like Emerald Fennell is a good example of someone who does get that a lot because she's also like, very bold.
Too.
And Greta Gerwig.
Yeah.
But they're also like very, very mainstream female directors.
Yeah.
Versus like with any man who's making a film, it's always like this man's film. And it's
from
like
the dark and twisted mind.
From the visionary director. Yeah. And I just wish there was more, like I think Lynne Ramsay's next film needs to be like from the sick and twisted mind of Lynne Ramsay. Real. And like that's the selling point. Is that also,
buckle up.
Yes, strap in.
Put your helmet on.
And there are a lot of male directors who it will say from this director, and I have no idea who they are. But it makes me interested in like looking up their filmography.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, that's interesting that they were top billed enough to have their name mentioned.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know, I feel like if more female directors had that, it'd be like, whoa, I don't think I've heard of them. I'd love to be more interested in their filmography.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's what we do with this series.
Oh my god. Full circle.
So full circle.
And the next, unless our schedule changes, which you never know with us, but the next female director we will be talking about is Emerald Fennell. Because, in case you didn't know, there's a little film coming out called Wuthering Heights.
And that's only 3 movies, guys.
Yes, literally only 3 films.
2 of them are already out.
Yeah,
you just have to go see.
Already seen
for sure,
them.
they're pretty mainstream. Yeah. And then you just have to go see Wuthering Heights in theaters, which you should do anyway.
Which you should do anyway.
To support theaters.
Yeah.
So no excuses.
No excuses.
None.
No. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us on our journey with the wonderful Lynne Ramsay. I think she's been a great guide for us.
Yeah.
I feel really just like
I agree.
motivated to seek out lesser known, or I guess she is very well known, but to me, directors I hadn't reviewed.
Especially watching their older films, like their kind of first up and coming ones, because often I'll be like, nah. Yeah. But it's like, it's so cool to see their voice developing and like how much potential they have, but they only have like a little bit of money.
Yeah, especially for her, like coming out of film school to where she is now.
Yeah. So cool.
And how,
if you made it this far, comment. What should they comment?
A rat emoji.
Comment a rat
emoji. And you get a gold star for me.
We'll know.
Yeah, a hug and a kiss.
Yep.
Yeah.
Little kiss.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully you watched her films. If you didn't, go back and watch them now. Or just some of them, you know. Support female filmmakers.
Tell us what your favorite was. I think we all said our favorites throughout this.
Oh yeah, well yours is...
Mine was Die My Love.
I think mine's You Were Never Really Here.
I think mine's Morvern Callar.
Wow!
I just really liked that one.
We're so different.
We're so different. So unique. Like women.
Complicated, complex. Okay, well, in short, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. And on a TBD, somewhat TBD, not so TBD anymore episode, but just listen to it and you'll know what we're talking about.
Follow us on Instagram.
Yeah. Follow us, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you do. Turn on notifications.
Share it with your friends, your family.
Yeah. Your loved ones.
Get them to watch Lynne Ramsay.
Yeah. Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.